Looks like you've been sleeping well.
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
And you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
The best sleep just got even better. Whether you have a MyPillow or not, you need to get the brand new MyPillow 2.0. Call or go to MyPillow.com now. Use your promo code, and for a limited time when you buy one, you'll get a second one absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Visit MyPillow.com.
I want to talk about something that I think is more outrageous than anything in the news, and you're probably not hearing about it. It's the fact that Ukraine has now canceled their elections.
Чи будуть в Україні наступного року вибори?
Це ж питання глобальне. І якщо ми переможемо, то будуть. Значить, не буде військового часу, не буде війни. А вибори повинні проходити у мирний час, коли немає війни, згідно законодавства.
Yeah, you heard that right. The country that's all about democracy, and that's the whole reason why the United States is involved in the war in Ukraine. You know, funding the war in Ukraine, funding the Ukrainian government at over $1 billion a month, but even more so, funding a proxy war against nuclear-armed Russia. Our government is all involved because they care about democracy. They care about democracy so much that they're supporting the democracy in Ukraine who just canceled their elections. You can't even make this up, everyone. It's outrageous.
Our commitment to Ukraine extends far beyond the here and the now, defined by the principles of democracy, freedom.
Our commitment to defend democracy in Ukraine.
They are fighting for democracy.
For freedom and for democracy in Ukraine.
We're standing together to support the brave people of Ukraine as they defend their democracy.
Kyiv stands, and Ukraine stands. Democracy stands.
Our government has funded Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, at over $113 billion. And I'm proud to let you know I have voted no to every single penny, your hard-earned tax dollars, going to this war in Ukraine. We should not be spending money to protect another country's border that is really a corrupt country. Ukraine is corrupt. Before this war started, they were considered the fourth most corrupt country in the world. But yet now you see Ukraine flags on every single lapel in Washington, D.C. The Democrats, the progressives, don't forget the progressives were anti-war until this war started in Ukraine. And now you've got AOC and everyone else in the progressive caucus cheering for war in Ukraine and pretending like that's all they care about.
You voted to mobilize and send money to Ukrainian Nazis. You're a coward. You're a progressive socialist. Where are you against the war mobilization?
They don't care about democracy. They don't care about elections. These are the same people that were just fine with a stolen election in 2020. We know what they're really all about. It's corruption. And that's what the Bidens are all about. Don't forget about all their business deals in Ukraine. It's something else. So let's talk about the Bidens. I know all of you are wondering what is happening. Well, I'll go ahead and let you know. Joe Biden has hired an attorney, and I'm sure he's hired quite a team of attorneys. And I'm going to tell you something. I never agree with anything Joe Biden does, but I fully support his decision in hiring an attorney because he's definitely going to need them. I serve on the Oversight Committee, and we have been doing an investigation into Joe Biden for just over 6 months. And what we have uncovered in 6 months' time is shocking. The most shocking revelation was on the 1023 form that the FBI director, Christopher Wray, refused to hand to us. No, this wasn't a classified form. This was an unclassified form. Christopher Wray was so disrespectful and spit in the face of Republicans and Democrats on the Oversight Committee because we were forced to read this 1023 form in a SCIF in the Capitol. A SCIF is where we read classified information, information that the public is not supposed to see. but not unclassified information. Christopher Wray redacted information on the 1023 form, redacted names, and then redacted a very important sentence that said there were 17 audio recordings, 15 of Hunter and 2 of Joe Biden.
The foreign national who allegedly bribed Joe and Hunter Biden allegedly has audio recordings of his conversation with them. 17 such recordings. These recordings were allegedly kept as a sort of insurance policy for the foreign national in case that he got into a tight spot.
And those audio recordings were proof, or are proof, of Joe Biden taking a $5 million bribe in order to get Victor Shokin fired. That was the prosecutor that was investigating Burisma when Hunter Biden was serving on the board and Joe Biden was vice president of the United States.
I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
This is proof of real crimes. These are crimes that Joe Biden should be impeached for. These are crimes that should have stopped him from ever becoming president of the United States. This information came from the FBI's top informant, the best one they have in the entire world, and those are their words.
The confidential human source was used by the FBI for at least several years before the generation of the June 2020 FD 1023 form detailing the Biden allegations.
This information was brought forward on June 30th of 2020. That was before the election, the presidential election. You know who had this information? Bill Barr. Bill Barr was the Attorney General of the United States under President Trump. Bill Barr did nothing with this information. He did not prosecute Joe Biden. He handed it over to another attorney and washed his hands of it. This is the type of corruption that has been going on for decades in Washington, D.C. There was another piece of information on this 1023 form. There was a comment made by the Ukrainian oligarch that owned Burisma, and it was quoted, the informant quoted him. He said that it would take us 10 years to uncover all of the bank statements, the wire transfers, and all of the financial proof that showed that Joe Biden was corrupt and that the oligarch of Burisma in Ukraine was paying Joe Biden. But I want to tell you something. It took us 6 months. It only took us 6 months. And we have just now been able to do it because we have the majority of the House in Congress, and that makes all the difference. You see, when you have the majority, that means you hold the gavel. When you hold the gavel, that gives you subpoena power. We've only been able to find this information out because we've had subpoena power. Under Nancy Pelosi, and Nancy Pelosi was Speaker of the House since 2018, we were not able to do anything. We did not have subpoena power. Democrats controlled it all. But now that we do, look at what we have done in 6 months.
Even with all the obstacles that Merrick Garland has thrown in front of the House Oversight Committee, all the obstacles that the Treasury Cabinet has thrown and the FBI has thrown, with all the negative media coverage from the mainstream media, we are still producing results every day that shows this family, the President of the United States family, has received millions and millions of dollars from our adversaries all over the world, and they can't explain why. They can't explain what they did to produce that money.
But I want to piece together more information that just came out this week that is incredibly unbelievable. The Ways and Means Committee, the Republicans on the Ways and Means Committee, have been working with a couple of whistleblowers from the IRS. And these brave whistleblowers have come forward, just like the brave whistleblower that we've been working with on the Oversight Committee, just like the brave whistleblowers in the FBI have come forward to the Judiciary Committee. These brave whistleblowers from the IRS came forward with information about Hunter Biden's tax fraud crimes that have not been prosecuted.
When prosecutors don't allow you to put the subject's name on document requests or on search warrants, then it raises the possibility that there's more information out there we didn't find, but based on all of the financial records that we did find, they've been analyzed. And it was around $8.3 million he received.
From
They came from China, from CEFC, came from Ukraine, and from Romania. And even the Burisma money, and it's kind of a aspect that we didn't get into, but the 2014 and 2015 tax years when the Burisma money was coming in. I mean, to this day, there's still around $400,000 of unreported income from Burisma in 2014. Hunter Biden was told by his partner Eric Schwerin that he needed to amend his returns, and he never did. So D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office declining those charges, David Weiss requesting special counsel authority and being denied, and then the statute of limitations then expires in November or December of 2022. So those years are gone, and there's no way to recoup the money from that Burisma income.
You've heard about the ones that they're talking about in the news, about several charges against Hunter Biden for not paying taxes and a gun charge, which is ridiculous. He is getting charged with crimes that he should serve jail time for. But because he's the president's son, he's not going to jail. No, he's getting off with no jail time. And guess what, everyone? That was pre-arranged between his attorneys and the Department of Justice.
U.S. Attorney in Delaware, David Weiss, reached an agreement with Hunter Biden. The president's son would admit to a firearm charge and plead guilty for his failure to pay taxes. If a judge signs off, the deal means no jail time.
This is what should not be happening. Regular Americans go to jail every single day for these exact same charges. But the whistleblowers came forward to Ways and Means and told the Republicans on the Ways and Means Committee that he is guilty of far more. He should have paid taxes on $2.2 million in revenue that came from foreign countries like China, Romania, Ukraine, and others. But it was unreported. And why was it unreported? Well, we know why. It's because it's money he shouldn't have received in the first place. It's money that he was able to take in because of his father, Joe Biden. This is how corrupt the Bidens are. But there's more. They also told about how Hunter Biden wrote off his payments to prostitutes and called them business expenses.
Shapley said he uncovered conduct that warranted more serious charges.
There were personal expenses that were taken as business expenses. Prostitutes, sex club memberships, hotel rooms for purported drug dealers.
Everyone that owns a business knows that that's completely illegal and it's outrageous. But this is the president's son. This is Hunter Biden. Here's some information that we have that overlaps with the story from Ways and Means and Hunter Biden writing off prostitute payments as business expenses. What we uncovered on the Oversight Committee and through our work there in subpoenas of bank records, bank statements, and wire transfers is we have the proof, the actual bank statement proof, that shows the money being wire transferred in from China, wire transferred in from Romania, wire transferred in from Ukraine and all these other countries that go into these fake LLCs, and then they pay out all these Biden family members. Not just Hunter Biden, I'm talking about all kinds of Bidens, even down to grandchildren. But we also have the bank statements and we have the proof where Hunter was paying these prostitutes that the IRS whistleblowers talked about and told the Ways and Means Committee. You see, it's getting to the point where they can't hide it anymore. And that is why Joe Biden is hiring attorneys, because he's lied for so long. Joe Biden has been in office for 50 years. He's been in Washington, D.C. as a senator, then a vice president for 8 years, and now president of the United States. And his lies are so big, they are so expansive to cover up the massive web that he has built along with his son Hunter and other Biden family members of bank accounts, wire transfers, fake LLCs, and all kinds of business partners that they pulled in to help them accomplish becoming filthy rich through the payments from foreign countries and foreign nationals, all using Joe Biden's powerful political positions as leverage in order to take in all this money. You can't even believe it. It's hard to believe it's real, but it is real. And Republicans in Congress in 6 months' time are uncovering all of it. But we have so much more work to do. I want to finish up, and we'll put up on the screen here for you to see an actual WhatsApp message that Hunter Biden sent to one of his partners over in China, where he was telling them, I'm sitting here by my father. We are waiting for your call. Now, remember how Joe Biden has said over and over before that he doesn't talk to his son about his business dealings, that he doesn't know anything about it?
I don't discuss business with my son. I don't discuss things with my son or my family because I never discussed with my son anything having to do with what was going on in Ukraine. Because I've never discussed my business or their business, my sons or daughters, and I've never discussed them.
But yet we have actual proof, a message on a messaging app called WhatsApp, where it says, Hunter is saying specifically, I am sitting by my father. We are waiting for your call. Hunter's ready to do business, but really who's ready to do business? Joe Biden. Joe Biden is ready to do business. This is just one example of many, and we're going to keep going down the trail, seeing what else we can uncover, because the ultimate goal is not only just to hold Hunter Biden accountable, the ultimate goal is to impeach Joe Biden. And I would argue if we had a fair justice system, if we had a Department of Justice that was doing their job, they would be prosecuting Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and putting them in jail. But they're not. Now, here's one more little piece of information that you need to go that's up and coming. This is hot information and it's going to grow. Merrick Garland is the one that's really in trouble. You are seeing calls now from the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, for an upcoming impeachment inquiry into Merrick Garland, the Attorney General of the United States. I have been pushing for this for a long time. I even introduced articles of impeachment against Merrick Garland because he's corrupt. But it's his failure to do his job, to actually pursue criminal charges against Hunter Biden, and I would say Joe Biden as well, and many others that are corrupt and have committed crimes, are the real reasons why we have to hold Merrick Garland accountable and the reasons why he should be impeached. There should never be a two-tier justice system in America, and that is how Merrick Garland has run the Department of Justice as Attorney General of the United States. Okay, guys, that's it for Battleground today. Wait for more updates, and I'll make sure that you're up to date on everything that we're fighting on in Washington, D.C. We'll see you next time.